What's going on, everybody? Very special guest today, Mr. Retired MMA, UFC fighter, color commentator, TV host, actor, pro wrestler, Hall of Famer since 2015. Everything you could ask for. One of the biggest guests we've had so far, Mr. Frank Trigg. Woo! Yeah, very pumped up. How you doing, man?
Good, yeah.
Good. How's your day going today, by the way, man? I know you're a super busy guy.
Today's been good. Just had to run a couple errands this morning. Literally doing laundry today. Got to fold some clothes, and then hopefully after I get off of here, about 20 minutes after that, I'll be on my bike and I'll go for a quick 40-mile bike ride.
Woo! Just a 40-mile bike ride, right?
Yeah, that's short.
Yeah.
We did 40 miles yesterday. We'll probably do another 40 today. I'm trying to get my wife up to doing 50. And so yesterday was the first time I ever hit 40. So I'm gonna try and get her to do. I'll do 40. She'll probably do like 25 because she's at work. So I'll take off early.
I see.
And then go meet her at work.
Yeah.
And then she'll change her clothes, put on her cycling gear, and then we'll take off for another couple miles. So
that's dedication. I like it.
It's really not. It's just I don't like running because it hurts.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't like doing other stuff for cardiovascular. So I just get on my bike and go ride, and you can put your headset phone on, and then just take off and be in your own world for a while. And it's pretty cool.
Yeah, awesome, man. A question I wanted to ask you is, how have you been spending your time during the quarantine, and how's it affected you at all?
So this is weird, like, so my main job is acting and stunt work,
yes.
And the majority of the stuff I do is on TV. It's primetime television.
Yeah.
So those shows are filmed basically loosely, and from the week after July 4th.
Yeah.
And they film all the way through until the week before Easter.
Oh, I see.
U.S. Easter, Christian Easter. So
yeah,
it gets a little weird because you get Thanksgiving off, you get Christmas off, you get a couple weeks off, and then you don't work all the time unless you're a star. You know, like my friend Zach Knighton plays Rick on Magnum PI, as well as well, pretty much all those guys are friends of mine. The top four, those guys work all the time because they are established in the show. The show can't go on without them.
Yeah.
I'm a day player. I come in, I play a bad guy, I have a couple of lines, I do some dialogue, maybe eat a nut or two, and then get shot or blown up or hit by a car. And that's just kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
So most of my filming is done during that time. So come this year, for most everyone has their own schedule, but for me, my endorsement deals start January 3rd and go through to the following January 3rd, because New Year's Eve I usually have a show that I've got to do. Okay. And you can't be renegotiating in December as I'm trying to prep for the New Year's Eve show, and then usually the sponsors get a big pump during that show.
Yeah.
Well, this year come July 3rd, my two major sponsors canceled. They're done. They moved on. One company sold.
Oh wow.
That was Universal Men's Clinic. The main partner retired. Okay. So that changed how the marketing was done. So that takes me out of that. And then the Ryzen decided to go with a different commentating team. So that kind of canceled that deal going to Japan all the time.
Yeah.
So we kind of put ourselves in the house, right at that point.
Okay.
And that's January. Well, then we're working, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff on SEAL Team. I was on the last 3 episodes of SEAL Team. It was supposed to be 4 episodes, but 1 episode got canceled because they couldn't film it because COVID. Yeah. I get back from Big Bear. We're up there filming a scene up there, and I'm there for a week. I come back on my anniversary, which is March 12th. And because I've been gone for a week, we're now going to keep ourselves in the house.
Yeah.
Right, for 4 or 5 days, catching up. So we stay in the house 4 or 5 days. We cook meals. We've already been staying home, not going to restaurants, not really going anywhere because we're not sure how the finances are going to work for the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of like trying to figure out new sponsors, that kind of thing. So it takes a couple months. So that's all of a sudden we're in March. It starts January. We're in March. I'm working still, so it's not that big of a deal.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, everyone's sequestered. Everyone's got to stay home, right? we're all in lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, I'm already there. So usually during this time of year, between March, April, May, June, I'm usually going to make 2 trips to Japan to work for Verizon.
Yep.
I usually go on 1 big trip because our birthdays are both in May. Mine is the 7th, my wife's the 15th.
Okay.
So we take off. We go someplace. Last year, 2019 was Italy. We went for 10 days to Italy. It was a birthday / delayed honeymoon trip, so it kind of worked out.
2 for 1.
This year we're supposed to go down to the Bahamas for my wife's birthday, because that's what it was her year to pick where the birthday trip was going to go. So that's we try to go to the Bahamas for 5 or 7 days. That got canceled, so we missed the 2 trips to Japan for Ryzen. We missed the Bahamas trip. Well, the Ryzen trips were done come January because they went with a different commentating team, so that was already off the table before COVID even started. So we really always misses the Bahama trip. So for us, this time of year, this is kind of what we do.
Yeah.
We're kind of at home. We kind of stay together. We kind of hang out together. Our schedules are set to be together 24 hours, 7 days a week. Like, that's kind of how we make our work. Like, right now she's at work. I've already talked to her like three times. She's been at work for 3 hours.
That's awesome.
Like, I've already talked to her 3 times on the phone while she's at work. It's like, and it's stupid stuff. It's not like, oh my gosh, the house is burning down, what do we do? It's literally like, hey, I'm gonna have a spinach for lunch. Like, I was like, hey, I'm gonna have a spinach and tomato salad for lunch. Which bowl should I use? Because we have some friends coming over tonight to have a little wine party, a little wine and cheese party. And I didn't know what else she was putting out, like popcorn, chips, like whatever. So I don't want to use one of the bowls for my salad that she's going to use later.
Yeah.
Stupid reason. But I'm like, hey, look, all I had to do was wash the bowl. It's not that big of a deal. But I was like, hey, what bowl can I use? And she's like, oh, use this bowl. I'm like, okay, fine. So that's the bowl I have my salad in.
Yeah.
So stupid stuff. So for us, honestly, other than no hope of income, because my industry is shut down. We are shut down. There's no fights, so I'm not reffing, right? I'm hoping that July we'll be back in California. I'm waiting. I keep looking at my phone because I'm waiting on the text to come through from Andy Foster, the executive officer, going, hey, we're back up and running, and can you work these dates, as a ref? I'm like, okay. And then there's no acting, there's no stunts going on right now. There's you've seen like the commercials, like Lily from AT&T, she's shooting from her house.
Yeah.
News, everybody's in front of a green screen, everybody's at home.
Exactly.
Basically this setup I have right here, you put a green screen behind me, I'm Chris Cuomo. That's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of a sudden I'm on the news, because that's what everybody has to do right now. Everyone has to be home because you can't be out. So for me, it's just other than really being without the ability to make an income and really having to watch every little penny that we spend, like how are we spending it, when we getting, because we don't know when the next income's coming in.
Yeah.
We don't know when the next couple of bucks are going to come in. So we really have to play that game of okay, what's our limit? Where's our ending? But other than that, to us, life is normal. You know, we still go for walks all the time. We still ride our bikes all the time. I'm older, so I'm not lifting as much. I'm not lifting weights as much. I'm using a lot more bands to kind of keep my body together. I'm not out there pumping iron, so I have the bands at the house.
I'm sure you're still way stronger than me, man.
Well, that's the weird thing about it. And that's genetics. So there's this whole thing of genetics. Like, I'm always going to be proportionally stronger than Shaquille O'Neal. Just size, height, weight. Like, I'm just going to be proportionally stronger. Take the percentage of body weight versus be able to bench, be able to squat. I'm always going to be stronger. But he's always going to be bigger. Yeah, no matter what. If he decides to slap me, he's going to knock me out. It's just, so it's all relative. It doesn't really matter, Yeah.
That's funny, man. Now I know it's, besides you said like the income aspect, it's been somewhat of what you're used to as far as the quarantine goes. Has it affected, you said you don't hit weights as much, but has it affected your weight training, or do you have a setup at your house?
Like I said, I have bands and TRX here at the house. That's mainly what I use. What I don't have is mats, so I can't roll. I can't do my tumbling routines. I can't do my stretching out. I mean, I do yoga, but it's not the same as the kind of stretching I need to do if I'm going to roll, if I'm going to do other stuff. The mat's just too narrow. I don't have the ability to do a lot of stuff I need to do. But other than that, really, I mean, not that much. I mean, there's rumors of schools that have been open this entire time. They never really closed. Obviously, a lot of the guys, especially like, when you got fighters, you got pro fighters in your gym. You got to open up the gym. There's a couple boxing gyms around here. They got pro fighters, got fights getting ready to come up in July. They've already scheduled. They've got the dates. They've got the locations. And if you waited till yesterday when you got the phone call, you're like, dude, like I'm not ready in 4 weeks. There's no way. These guys have been trained the whole time knowing this is coming up. So a lot of gyms are having to do it, private, closed down, curtains across the windows. But I don't go to any one of those gyms. Like my place closed down. That's what, it's a strong or street sports closed down. My gym, Strong Sports, closed down. Like we just shut everything down. It's because it's just too hard to get the stuff together. So, and then when they demanded everything get closed down, they said we didn't have a choice. Everything's got to get closed. So that portion of it does affect me a little bit, but really not that much. I mean, really, there's enough stuff, and the outside's a big place. There's a lot of trees you can do pull-ups on. There's a lot of a lot of stuff. You can bench parks. If you want to do tumbling routines, you can do backflips off of picnic benches, and there's all sorts of stuff you can do if you really want to get into it. Like the parkour guys, they're happy as shit because no one's home, no one's at work. There's no security guards that telling you stop jumping on my building. These parkour guys are running all over the place, So it's like there's ways to make works. Say again.
So basically, there's no excuse, right? If you really want to work out.
If you really want to work out, you'll find a way. It may not be the workout you want to do. You may not, like, hey, I'm power lifter. I got to get up 500-pound bench and a 1,000-pound squat. That's probably not happening right now unless you have the system at your house, which I know a lot of those types do. Yeah. I got what I need and I do what I got to do.
Awesome. We appreciate the inside information. We wanted to go a little bit into your career. Well, a little bit in depth into your career. We know you received your bachelor's degree in '97, which is awesome. And then you were coaching at Oklahoma, correct? Mm-hmm. And then in between that time, I know you were doing amateur fighting as well as getting into the pro level. In your first pro fight, how nervous were you, if you were at all?
No amateur fights. I was wrestling, so it was all amateur wrestling. Back then, there was no amateur.
I see.
You gotta remember, I'm old. So back in the day, there was no amateur. There wasn't any. It just was non-existent. Dave Severin was my college coach when I was at Phoenix College. His brother, obviously, Dan, went on and was a UFC champ, right? So that's the first time I heard about it, was when he was doing it in 92, 93. That's when I first heard about this stuff, right? I never thought I was going to be into it. I was trying to make I was trying to win an Olympic gold medal, in wrestling. I wasn't trying to do anything at all with fighting. It wasn't in my radar. Yeah. Nothing at all. And then I started fighting after I graduated college because my eligibility ran out. So then I don't have to worry about the NCAA and me making money using my athletic skills, because it was a really muddied water back then. No one's really sure what you could do or not. Yeah. Then I wanted to make some money so I could tour overseas, because I wasn't very good at wrestling. That's just the reality of it. I wasn't a guy that was going to be number one or number two. I was always like 3, 4, or 5. That's where mainly 5. That's kind of where I sat. Well, if you're 5th on the ladder in the U.S. back in my day, they didn't pay for you to go over. They give you a discount, but you had to pay like half the trip. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So you still had to pay. It was a discounted price because it's a group buy and travel agencies and all that stuff. But I still had to pay for it. So I actually started fighting just to pay the bill, so I go travel overseas to go compete. My first fight was like a last-minute phone call. It was literally like, hey, do you want to go down this weekend? It was like a Tuesday or Wednesday. Hey, do you want to go down this weekend and beat some guys up for like $500? I was like, yeah. I mean, I just competed 2 weeks ago in Cuba. Like, why not? Let's. I'm just back. I'm still in shape. Like, wrestlers don't really stop training, whatever. So, like, yeah, let's just go. Wow. No idea. Open hand slaps to the face. Couldn't punch. No elbows. Could knee and could kick. And then I think you could head stomp, if I remember correctly, and you could kick to the head. But stuff. My whole thing was, I'm just going to wrestle you to death and beat you up and just keep slapping you until you stop. And then, I fought 3 guys in one night, won $500. That was it. No per diem, no gas mileage, no hotel room. Come down, make weight on Friday, figure your own shit out, like where are we going to stay, whatever. Yeah. Fight, and then if you win the whole thing, you win $500. If you don't win the whole thing, you get nothing. You go home, and that's it. So drove down, had a fight, fought 3 times, won all 3 fights. So it was kind of, I really didn't start getting nervous for fights until after my first loss. Then you start getting nervous. Yeah. Okay. Then you start like, okay, like this scenario happens again. I got dropped, so I got to be careful of this. I got to be careful of that. So after I fought Sakurai, I got my first loss. Then it was like, okay, now I really got to start worrying about stuff. I really got to start paying attention. Before that, I was kind of naive to it and kind of stupid. Just like, whatever. I go out there, I'm a wrestler. I'm going to push harder. I'm going to go harder. I'm in better shape. I'm stronger. I'm just going to go push and beat these guys up. Yeah. And, and then you lose one. You're like, okay, what did I do wrong? What do I got to work on? Oh, I guess I don't know how to box because I got hit behind the ear. I don't have any defense. Oh, I got submitted, but I learned how to do some grappling. Oh, okay. And then you get submitted again. Okay, well, I got to figure out how to stop this thing. It's just that's just how it goes. Yeah, no, for sure, man. After your first loss, you went to the WFA, correct? No, my first loss was Sakurai and Shuto. I was already in the WFA. I'd already won the WFA. Okay. So WFA was before. Then Shuto. Okay. Yeah. That's where I lost to Sakurai, and then from there, Pride and there was one other one I fought in. I forget. I fought in so many organizations you forget. Half the names are.
And the UFC was after that correct? After
Yeah.
that
Oh yeah.
loss,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And what I saw also, or I mean, I was a very little boy when I seen your fights, but you recall and stuff like that. They shot you straight to the moon. They gave you an immediate title shot.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
did you feel at that point? Were you like, all right, this is it?
No, because you gotta remember the UFC was just one of the several promotions that were out there. It wasn't even the
Yeah.
biggest promotion at the time. They only threw 8 fights a year back then.
Jesus,
A
that's
year,
crazy.
8 fights a year. They had 3 fights in a week. In 8 days, 3 fights in 8 days,
Yeah.
like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's like it's a conglomerate now. It's a whole different animal than what it was like when we first started.
Mm-hmm.
And there really wasn't anybody left. Like Matt Hughes had beat everybody in the entire weight class. He beat everybody. There's nobody left. So like for me to come in and get a title shot, it just made sense. I was a champ at WFA.
Yep.
I was a champ other places. It's like, there's just no other thing. Wrestler versus wrestler. Midwest with Miltish Camp versus West Coast with Team Raw. Like it was this whole bit. Like it was a good story build. So it just made sense for us to go in there.
Yeah, no,
And
definitely.
The crowds are small, which is what we're used to in wrestling.
Yeah.
You go to a wrestling match. This is the Worlds or a tournament in Iran or a tournament in Cuba. It's there's not that many people there. It's 200-300 people max.
Jeez.
Unless you're like in Iowa, not nowadays. Iowa, Oklahoma State, Penn State, those guys pack the house every home match, right?
Okay.
It wasn't like that for us. I was at OU. We were great, and back then was the Big 8. We were great in the Big 8 before switching to the Big 12. We were great in the Big 8, but we weren't the best. Oklahoma State was, and Iowa State was coming up, and then became this kind of rivalry thing. So we're just used to 200-300 people. So when I got to Atlantic City or Mohegan Sun for that first fight,
yeah,
5, 6, 2, 2,500, 1,500, couldn't tell you. Small crowd. Wasn't packed by any means. Wasn't crazy.
Yeah.
Just went out there and did my business. Lost, but that's just it didn't affect me from that mindset.
Yeah, made for the business. After that loss, though, you did bounce back two victories in a row, and they gave you that rematch. Just rewatching that again, was there any part of you, because you were, I hate to bring that old stuff up, but you were very close to winning that fight. Did any part of you think, oh, this might get stopped right now? Because you did have him down. You were mounting him too. I'm talking about Matt Hughes. So, did any part of you think, oh, this might get stopped right now?
Yeah, right. That's why I switched to the rear naked choke.
Yeah.
I had hit him so hard that he fell, right? I knocked him out.
Yep.
But I didn't knock him all the way out. I gave him that flash knockout. So I keep hitting him, and I'm waiting for Mario, the referee, to stop the fight as I'm hitting him. I'm like, he's gonna stop this fight. But I'm not laying into it. I'm not trying to ruin his life. I'm like, this guy's already out. I'm just gonna pitter pat him.
Yeah.
It's Matt fucking Hughes.
Yeah.
You pitter patter Matt Hughes, he's coming back from the dead. Okay?
Yeah.
And he's proven it throughout his entire life. Our match, he got hit by a train. Look at him now. He's freaking doing squats and jumping up and down on benches now. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a guy that comes back. This is a guy that knows how to live. This is a guy that knows how to dig deep and find something. Well, I didn't know that at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just punching him like, I got this fight. This fight's done. Okay, great. And then all of a sudden he starts moving a little bit. I'm like, Mario, stop this fight. So I get behind him, put the rear naked choke on. I didn't know how to do a forearm choke at the time, and my elbow was in the wrong spot, so he's able to get out of it. He gets out of it, and then fight's over. So I'm literally in my mind like, this fight is over. This fight is over. Oh, God, crap, we're in a fight again. Oh, crap, this fight is over, and I'm tapping out again. Like, what the hell just happened? It was the most frustrating thing in my entire life, but that's just a testament to how good Matt was as a competitor. And the reason why he was, until GSP came along, the reason why he was the best welterweight ever of all time. And arguably, if you take the levels, now you can't go prime Matt versus prime GSP because it's different eras. It doesn't really work like that. No, how would they do whatever? Different eras. But I'm telling you, Matt during his era honestly did more than GSP did. He really did. He did way more for the sport than GSP did. But the other thing he did too is that he fought all the damn time.
Oh yeah.
GSP would fight once a year. Matt would fight all the time. So there's a big difference between a guy that's gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna go out there. Yeah, you beat my record defending the belt, whatever, 9 times, 10 times, whatever. But it took you 5-6 years. I did it in 3 years. Like, let's measure this right here. Like, I'm a guy that's gonna compete. You're a guy that's gonna sit around and wait and plan. Now, on GSP's standpoint, you're like, hey, look, man, I take that year. I'm not just sitting on the couch. I'm not doing vacations. I'm not running around with starlets. I'm still working out. I'm getting game plans for the next guy we're going to face, and I'm trying to work it out and figure out and change my whole fight and change how I do things and get better at everything. And then GSP becomes GSP. I mean, that's just what it is. So, like, that Matt fight, I definitely thought the fight was over when I hit him and dropped him, 100%.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't.
For sure, man. I mean, I've seen it a couple times before. The last few nights I've been just rewatching it, dissecting it. And I'm like, man, it's just there's some fights that I'm sure you see like currently that get stopped, way before that your situation. You know what I mean? So
Well,
it's
so I've been very lucky. There's been a few rule changes that I have caused throughout my career.
yeah,
One was Dennis Hallman. I need him right in the bladder for the championship for the WFA. He punched me and split my lip wide open, like he split it from top to bottom. Like
jeez.
I'm just gushing. I'm like, if this goes between rounds, I'm gonna be in trouble. So I have to accelerate. So I pick it up.
Yeah,
I need him in the bladder. He said it's a ball shot. Technically speaking, at that time in the rules, it was still boxing rules. So anything below the belt was illegal. Well, that's not necessarily true because we have kicks, we got strikes, or the elbows. So it's a different kind of mindset. It
yeah.
finally the verbiage got changed.
Okay.
The understanding was there beforehand, but they had to change the verbiage. So now it's like, okay, look, this is the verbiage. It's not below the belt. It's the cup. Anywhere in the pubis region, because you have to worry about females too, because there's no cups for females.
Yeah.
But the cup region, the pubis region, is off limits. That's just what it is. I don't care if it's a male or female. You get hit in the groin, it's a foul. That's just what it is. It doesn't matter. Oh, they don't have testicles, so it doesn't hurt as much. It hurts worse because they have no protection. So just stop with that. Okay, women get hurt more and they get kicked in the groin in a fight than guys do. That because skin on bone versus having a metal cup if you're smart or a plastic cup if you're an idiot and you're in there, then it's still protection, right? There's still a solid piece to stop it.
Yes, sir. Yep.
So that rule change happened. The other rule change happened is before my fight with Matt Hughes the second time, there was no flash knockout. He didn't get dropped, right? To change the rule. Now, flash forward to me fighting Matt Serra and fighting Josh Koscheck.
Yeah.
I get flash knocked out by both. I hit the ground, I bounce right back up, and I'm yelling at the referee, Josh Rosenthal. I'm yelling at him. Like, I'm gonna drag him to the back in the locker room and beat him up because he stopped the fight. I'm like, you are asinine. I have jumped. He hit me. Yes, he hit me. I fell down. I jumped right back up again. What are you talking about? This fight is over.
Yeah.
I am losing my shit. Losing it. Then the replay happens. I'm looking at the replay. I'm like, oh yeah, good job, Josh. Good stoppage. All right. Because in your mind, you're like, oh, I hit the ground. I bounced right back up like a rabbit. But then you see the replay. You're like, yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm awake. Oh, I'm back on my feet. I'm ready to go. Why are you stopping it? Why are you stopping it? You're like, well, if that guy wanted to, he could have just jumped on you and beat you to your face was a pull because there's nothing you could do to stop it. I'm like, yeah, good stoppage. Good job, bro. Good job.
Yeah, awesome, man. A little bit away from fighting, what are a few things that your fans might not necessarily know about you? Hobbies or interests, music, anything like that?
I sail a lot.
Oh, nice.
A lot. I competitively sail. Not pro by any means. I mean, I wish I'd started sooner. Because I really do love sailing. I really do love cycling. I wish I'd started that sooner. But every athlete, thinks they can be a pro athlete in another sport if they just dedicated to it. So that's always the mindset.
Yeah, of course.
I ride my bike a lot. I sail a lot. I cook a lot. I do a lot of cooking at home. Tonight I'm doing a barbecued pork with pinto beans. In the slow cooker, so I'm prepping that
Nice.
right now to get ready to go. And then what else about me that no one really knows? I talk to myself a lot. I monologue a lot. So people will work on like dialogue for like a movie role or whatever. I just do that all the time with conversations I've had or conversations I'm gonna have. Does it make sense? So I've had a conversation with somebody. I walk around and talk to myself, like, how can I make that conversation better?
Uh-huh.
Like, what happened in that conversation to get the result we got at that wasn't the result I really wanted? Like, what could I have done better? So I replay the conversation in my head and I talk out loud. Most people do that inside their head. I actually talk to myself all the time. All the time. Like, I'll be in the shower talking to myself. Say again?
It's kind of like self-evaluation of your conversation.
Yeah, and it's funny because when my wife and I first started dating, she's like, I always thought you were just on the phone. Like in the bathroom on the phone, in the shower on the phone. I'm like, no, I'm literally having a conversation with myself. Like I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah.
Constantly. And then I replay in my head what the other half of the conversation is, but I go back through the conversation on my side.
Yeah, for sure. And how about some music? What are some of your go-to genres or even tracks?
Oh, geez, I'm all over the map on that one, man. Like I'm a little bit crazy. So I grew up in East Coast hip hop, and now that I work on NCSLA all the time, I work with LL Cool J all the time. So him and Heavy D the Boys, and I know I'll be sure. I'm friends with Flavor Flav.
Nice.
I'm friends with LL Cool J. true story. I went to Flav's house for his birthday party. Ring the doorbell. Some strange dude opens the door. Kind of looks familiar, so I think it's one of like Flav's entourage, whatever. I'm not really sure. He's sitting there, lets me in. He sits down and starts playing the piano right in the doorway. I'm okay. It's kind of cool. We're walking in. And little DJ stand is set up, and we're just kind of hanging out, having some drinks and some dogs and burgers, whatever. And then all of a sudden they start playing, and it doesn't hit me until that guy opened the door is now spinning. He's at the DJ booth. He's spinning, and Flavor Flav is doing the Humpty dance. And it's Shock G is spinning.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, my mind was, I literally in the middle of it just stopped talking. I was talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
When I realized and put it all together, I stopped talking. It was like my childhood came in and crashed into each other. Now, if you guys are too young, there's a group called Digital Underground that actually is, for those of you that know Tupac Shakur, that's where he started actually, was in Digital Underground.
Okay.
Shock G was the head of Digital Underground. He made up this character called Humpty, came out with the Humpty dance. So there's this big gimmick on MTV where Shock G is running around New York City trying to find Humpty. And Humpty and Shock G keep being in different spots, but no one put it together as the same fucking person. It's like it's the same guy. Like, what are you doing? So it took me a second to kind of put together. I was like, oh, then when I got it, I was like, whoa. And all of a sudden, I'm in these full conversations. My music tastes are all over. But if I'm like driving or if I'm working on a boat, I'm trying to re-rig something or whatever, I'll have either house music or trance on. Okay. Because the beats are higher to keep me moving, keep me rocking. If I'm driving, like long distance, like I'm driving from LA to San Diego or LA to Vegas, those longer over an hour ones, then it depends on where we are in the trip, you know. And I could be anywhere from jazz and country and classical all the way to pretty much anything but death metal, hard metal, rock and roll, like that stuff I don't do. But I'll do poppy stuff, you know, like Air Supply and Rush and Journey. Lou Gramm from Journey lived down the street from me when I was growing up. He lived right down the street from me when I was growing up. And then the hell's her name? When I went to school in Oklahoma, Color Me Bad was from Tulsa, so I'd see them out all the place in different city. Right? I'd see them out every time I go into Tulsa. So it was really weird to see Color Me Bad out running around. So like I have a really eclectic, weird reasoning for music. It's because music, as it should be, it affects you personally. That's why you listen to particular types of music. It affects you personally. True. Like my friend Mike Beltran, the referee with the really long mustache. Yeah. So he's a huge Slayer, you know, Molly Hatchet, like Metallica. Like he's just one of those guys. He's like, let's go. I got tickets. Let's go. I'm like, nah, man, I'm good, man. I'm good. But you hit me up for a Jack Johnson concert, I'll fly to Hawaii to go to Jack Johnson. As a matter of fact, I flew to Hawaii to watch Jack Johnson and the Eagles play. Oh, but Jack Johnson opens up for the Eagles. I flew back just for that to hang out with my friends. Like, I'm gonna go to this concert. Like, so it was like one of those deals. Like, we flew all the way over there. You know, I've taken Jill to Kenny Chesney and Darius Rucker. You know, it's just like whatever. It's weird. Like I have a really wide range. You can pretty much put anything on except for death metal. I'll be okay. Like I'll be all right. I'll find a way around it. You know, so
there you go. That's awesome, man. After your first, going a little bit back into fighting, after your first stint in the UFC, it seemed like you were focusing on your broadcasting commentator role in that Pride, correct?
Well, I wasn't focusing on it. It's what got put in my lap.
Ah, okay.
It was the opportunity, and I got to be honest with you, man. Boss Root and I talk about this quite a bit, but a lot of the stuff that's happened for me positively in my life, has been because of Boss Root.
Oh, really?
Unbeknownst to him, unsolicited. We weren't friends when it first started, but so back in the day, he was doing all the Pride shows, and Pride had 2 small shows a month and then 1 big pay-per-view. Yes. All right, and so he got tired of flying Japan all the time and being jet lagged all the time. Yeah. You know, it just wasn't working for him. So he's like, hey, I just want to do the pay-per-views. So hey, let's bring Trigg in for the smaller shows. So he brought me in for the smaller shows. Then he gets his job on back then it was HDNet, then became Access TV. Yeah. And he's like, I can't do anymore because I got this other job. So then all of a sudden I'm the guy at Pride. And all of a sudden I'm the one doing it with Jay Glazer on the desk at Fox. Like all of a sudden I'm the guy because Boss needed a little bit of a break. Yeah. And that's kind of how my broadcasting stuff really picked up. Now, of course, Ryan Bennett got me started with it on MMA Weekly when I had that competition to see, but I wanted nothing to do with it. It wasn't anything I wanted to do with it. Okay. And my ex-wife and Ryan are really the ones that kind of jammed me into it. Like they forced me into this thing. Like this is something to be good at. I was like, all the commentators at the time have no idea what they're talking about. None of them have ever done this sport. They're all idiots. They all make stuff up and people think it's true because they said it on TV and it's completely wrong. So basically, nothing has changed from then till now. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah.
Half the stuff you hear on TV from these commentators is completely wrong. It's
Yeah.
completely wrong. They have no idea what they're looking at. And now they have fighters doing it. I'm like, the fighters don't even know. This is why I'm like, you guys don't even know what you're talking about. Like, you literally are the worst at talking about this. Then you get some guys like the Paul Felders, the DCs. You're like, you get it. And man, Paul Felder, like,
he's incredible.
If he fights again, I don't think he will. The last time he went home, his child saw him all cut up, and his foot's broken, and it's like this big around from kicking, and he's got cuts in his cheek and his face, and it was really tough for him to go home. And he's such a good commentator. Like, it pains me to say this because that's one spot I can't have. If Paul Felder's in that seat, it's not a seat I can take.
Yeah.
If Paul Felder's in that seat, man, he is good. He is so good at commentating. He really is good, and I enjoy listening to him talk. And he understands the whole game. He's a striking guy, but he understands the whole game.
Yeah,
it's awesome. It's awesome to watch him talk. But so I got forced to this broadcasting thing because I got pushed into it. And then Ryan was like, "Look, this is what you got to do." I got lucky with George Greenberg, who was running Fox at the time, and he was like, "Look, you got to slow your pace down, enunciate your words." And look, he did test me. He goes, "Okay, say these lines as fast as you can." And I would say them as fast as I can. I'd screw them up 10 times, right? And it would take me like 30 seconds to run these whole lines. He's like, "Okay, now slow down. Enunciate every single word." I'd go through the whole thing. It'd take me 20 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Like, slower is faster. Because you're not tripping over your words. You're not having to rethink. You're not having to re-guess. You're not remembering you screwed up that word before, and now you have that word again later on in the monologue, and you're trying to correct the word. It's like you don't have that. So it actually slower is faster.
Yes.
Like, oh, okay, now I guess. I really got baptized by fire when I was on Fox, because they really had to improve my game, really had to improve my style. And then, it was also a way for me to make money in between, because let's be honest, in my day, when I walked away from the sport, I owed $2,500. Wow. I never retired. I never retired from the sport. I just stopped taking fights.
Okay.
There's no reason for a fighter to retire unless you're under contract with somebody.
Yeah.
Or you have a buyout clause. Like a lot of track athletes that get really become super high level, like my friend Mo Green. Mm-hmm. He was the fastest human in the world until Usain Bolt took it over. And Mo was like, he had to retire because he had a buyout. I don't know what the number was, but Adidas gave him a huge buyout. When he retired, they gave him a huge cash payment for buyout. It was like, you retired, you're done, here's your huge cash payment. Fighters don't have that. So when I stopped taking fights, it was specifically financial. I could make more money doing stunts and acting than I could doing fighting. The money was starting to come up, but I was past my prime. I was never even back in the top 10. Mm-hmm. So the realization of you looking at it going, hey, I still want to fight. I still have the physical ability to be able to fight, but I'm never going to beat these top 10 guys. I'm never going to be in the money. So I'm consistently going to be in one of these spaces where I'm always going to be at the low end of the money. Well, I can make more money doing these other things. Let me go do these other things. So I went to these other things. So that's really how I made that jump. Like, so I never really retired. I just stopped. But there's no reason to make that retirement portion, make that understanding of what you were doing. It's just time to go away. It's time to go away. And that's just kind of what I did. Yeah. And it really broadcasting in between fights, because like I have a fight, I'd have like maybe 2 months of living after I paid all my bills off and caught up on everything. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can survive for 2 more months for me to fight again, which means like you got to fight, 4 or 5 times a year to make a living. Like there's just no money in it. So broadcasting gave me enough money to be able to be able to survive in the midterm. The best time I had was during the Pride show 4 times a month on Fox, that little half-hour show that we would film in one day. We'd film it and then they'd cut it out later and they'd edit it and put it out later. And then go in Japan once a month. And that for Pride, I'd do that whole Pride thing. And that was probably the best time. And I would fight, during that time. And it'd be like I scheduled fights around when I had to be other places. And, it worked out great financially. And then when that went away, it was like, okay, time to find something else out. And, it's the progression. Just keep figuring your life out. Yeah,
that's cool, man. So being that you said you're not technically retired, if Dana White randomly just says, hey, we want you to fight Conor McGregor, would you take it?
I mean, Conor, yeah. I mean, he'd have to fight me 185, and I'm twice his size. I beat the living piss out of him. Like, there's no way. Like, let's stop the thing. This whole thing came up with Ronda Rousey when she was fighting. I could beat any 45 pound, 135 pound on the planet. And she's like, I'd be Uriah Faber. I'm going to beat Uriah Faber. I was like, when Ronda was in her prime, and Ronda, amazing athlete, incredible athlete. Take nothing away from her. She's not being Uriah Faber in their prime. I don't think so, there's no way. He's going to beat the living crap out of her. Yeah. Her in her prime, him in his prime, he's beating her 10 times out of 10. That's how it works. You take a guy that's equally trained, that's just as big, just as strong. I hit hard. Okay, I don't hit as hard as Phil Baroni. I don't hit as hard as Robbie Lawler, but I hit hard. I hit hard enough to knock out a 55-pounder. I'm not hit hard enough to knock out a 70-pounder.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be able to knock a guy out, right? And I can wrestle and I can grapple. Like, come on, you want to? Connor's not the right guy. He's just too small. You know, but the same thing to be said. If I want to fight Brock Lesnar, I'm going to lose. Okay, like that's just. It's like, you know, if Brock wants to take me, nothing I can do about it. I just got to accept it. Daniel Cormier, if he wants to beat me up, I'm just going to have to take it. You know, Steve Miocic, I'm just going to have to take it. I might do okay against like a, you know, like an Israel, a John Jones, you know, Yoel Romero. I'm going to do okay. I'm still going to lose.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still going to lose, but I'm going to do okay.
Yeah.
You know, you give me a 45-pounder, give me a 55-pounder, I'm gonna crack the crap out of him. I'm just gonna hold him with one hand like a big brother and just keep moving my hand and punch him in the face. There's nothing to do about it. It's just that's just how it is. That's how the world works. This is what it is. The bigger guys, equally trained, and I'm assuming everyone's equally trained. Mm-hmm. Equally trained, the heavier man is gonna win. Now, if you get a Conor McGregor versus an old guy in a bar, Conor wins.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's just it's all relative. You know, it all you know. There's weight classes for a reason. You know, there's weight classes for a reason to keep it all fair.
No, that's true. And you were talking about.
I'm trying to answer your question.
Oh yeah.
Yes, I have a number, but I am not worth that number. I'm not worth that number. It's just that's the reality of it. Like I've thought about it. I'm like, okay, what do I have to do? 12 weeks training camp, blah blah, this, that, and the other thing. I go, I have a number. I go, yeah, but I'm not worth that number. Like, there's no way, and I'm not going to go for anything less than that number. So yeah, it's not going to happen. Well, Dana has the money, but it'd be a gimmick. And it'd be useless. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know?
Well, and that's a whole nother conversation, right? A lot of the top fighters are kind of holding out and, you know, speaking in the media about fighter pay and all that good stuff right now.
Yeah. See, the thing is that I get asked this quite a bit. You know, do you miss fighting? No, I don't. I get lit on fire. I get hit all the time. I get hit by cars. I get shot at all the time. I get enough of adrenaline rush. You know, I'm forever hitting the ground. I'm forever dying. I'm forever rolling down a mountain. Like, it's just. I don't need to have that same adrenaline rush going in front of a crowd and getting punched in the face. I don't need that anymore. It's like my life has developed on. So I don't miss fighting. But this is the reality of all fighters. And this is kind of irritating about some of these guys that are bitching now. They're trying to renegotiate their contract now. Now, on one hand, if the UFC is tired of you and they want to get rid of you and you still have 6 fights left in your contract, they can release you. Okay, that's within their right. That's in the contract. But you know that because you signed the contract. If you sign the contract, you better read the contract. So I assume you understand that. These guys now, with like 4 or 5 fights left in their contract, are trying to renegotiate their contract at a time when the UFC is not making as much money because they cannot carry a gate. This is they might get a little bit more on pay-per-view, but they're not getting a lot more. Yeah. We're not hearing $3 million or 3 million pay-per-views. Right, we're not really getting any releases at all on what the numbers are, which tells you the numbers are not any better than they were before.
Oh,
right. It's just more people. It's just more people in the same house watching the same product. So for you to go right now to your employer, any employer, I don't care, any job, you go to your employer and go, hey, look, I know that the revenue has been cut by 50%, but you need to double my money. Hold on a second. Like, you want to hit me when this thing is over? Hit me when this thing is over. Put a clause in there. Hey, when this thing is over, I'm going to fight this next fight. But when this thing is over, regardless of win, lose, or draw, you are doubling my rate. Okay. Then you're sitting behind it. Sign. Okay, yeah, when this thing is over, we're back to full gates. I'll double your rate. We're not to full gates right now. We're at the UFC Apex. We're at Fight Island. Bellator is coming back in July, I understand, at a studio. Mm-hmm. We're at a studio. There's no audience. There's no gate. There's no beer sales. There's no alcohol. There's no hot dog sales. There's nothing for the venues.
Merchandise, T-shirts, all that stuff.
Nobody's making any money, right? Yeah. You're putting on a fight. The only way the UFC is making money is a TV deal. The only way Bellator make their money is their TV deal. That's it. There's no gates. So now what do we do? Okay. Oh, I know what we're going to do. Hey, you got to double my salary. What? That doesn't make any sense. Like, so that kind of irritates me about these stars. But on the other hand, as a fighter that went through and made no money fighting, I'm in the Hall of Fame. I can honestly tell you I walked away from the sport owing money. I did not make any money fighting. I owed more money than I had made in my last fight. That is a reality, okay? So my era, most of us didn't really make all that much money. The Hugheses, he got $1 million payout. The rumored, it was rumored. We don't know for sure. He's never talked about it. He got $1 million payout when he fought and beat Hoist Gracie. Okay, it makes sense. Like these things kind of happen, but not really to most of us. We're the top 3%.
Yeah.
The other 97%, we're trying to survive to make a living. You know, everyone had schools, everyone had gyms, everyone teaching privates, everyone's having to try to battle out. So from a guy coming from that standpoint, these guys are asking for more money. I'm like, yeah, go get more money. go get more money. Go buy you a house. Go buy you a car. Get your kids' college funds put together. Get that stuff squared away. Like, yes, go after it. So part of me is like, come on, man, you signed the contract. The other part of me is like, dude, I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. Get after it.
No, yeah, it's a tough situation, but like you said, it's almost wrong timing because I mean, there's no gates, there's no T-shirts, there's no, like you said, hot dogs. It's a very tough situation, and I don't see it. I don't see them getting their way currently with the pandemic going on for sure.
No, absolutely not. No, they got to wait, and I understand, but I also understand.
Yeah.
You know, like doesn't make any sense to have Conor McGregor fight right now. No, because you make most of the money is off the gate from him.
Yeah.
There's not going to be enough offset from his salary. Whatever, I don't know what he gets paid. Whatever he gets paid, there's not going to be a big enough offset from the pay-per-view sales of him fighting without having a gate. You got to have a gate. You just have to for a guy like that. You know, and then some of these guys are getting to those. The numbers they're asking is like, sure, we'll give you that number, no problem. We'll give you that number, but you can't fight again until we have a gate. It's like now you get to sit for a year. You're like, well, but hey, this is what you wanted. This is how it works. So
yeah,
I get it. It's all business. I get it. It's all business. It's all business. I understand it.
Yeah, for sure. You talked about your Hall of Fame induction. That was in 2015. How surreal was that moment for you?
So I kept getting this phone call from this weird number. I wouldn't pick it up. Yep. Then a buddy of mine from Germany called me at like 9 a.m. one morning. I'm like, dude, it's like 3 a.m. for you. Like, what the hell are you calling me for? He's like, you know that phone number keeps calling you? You need to pick it up. I'm like, why am I picking up this phone call? He's like, I can't tell you why, but you need to pick up the phone call. I'm like, I don't have him leave a message, man, because I'm not picking up any phone number I don't recognize, whatever, blah, blah. Yep. So then it went on for 2 more days. The guy kept calling me. I'm like, okay, screw it, I'll call. I'll pick up the phone call. Yeah. So Ant Evans, who no longer works for the UFC, he's since moved on, but he called and he was like, hey, are you going to be around July 13th? I'm like, I'm actually moving to Hawaii on July 5th because we start shooting July 9th and I got to be out there. He's like, well, if you're in town, we're inducting your fight into the Hall of Fame. Wow. And I actually had to ask him 4 times. What? We're inducting your fight. Okay, that's great. You're inducting my fight. Whatever. Like, no. You and Matt have to be there when we induct the fight in the Hall. What? Hold on. What are you talking about? And he had explained to me the entire 5 minutes 4 times. I couldn't get my head wrapped around it. It was a thought at some point of being put in the UFC Hall of Fame. But then once I got out of it, how things kind of transpired, how the UFC let me go, kind of how I was being treated by UFC staff and stuff. I was like, I'm never getting the Hall of Fame. I'm never going to get anything. Nothing is ever going to happen for me. So I got the phone call. It was like, wow, this is a dream. I forgot I even dreamed it. Like, this is so far gone. I even forgot it was one of my aspirations. And so we went and got in the Hall of Fame, and and then here we are, still talking about being in the Hall of Fame, which it's great, but it's it doesn't. What does it do? You know what I'm saying? Like, what does it do? I'm honored. I'm thrilled. Like, I just got my UFC. I have a jacket, suit like the NFL. Nice. I have a jacket. I got the jacket, and I'm super pumped to wear it. I thought I was gonna be wearing it in July at the International Fight Week. Like, that's when the whole thing is. And the next class comes in. Mm-hmm. I'm super honored, but if you're not a fight fan, the directors and producers I talk to, they're fight fans, don't really get the Hall of Fame, so don't really understand it. So it's cool to it's cool to be in it and see the other guys. Like when I see Chuck and see Randy and see Tito and and see these guys, like it's cool. Like I'm kind of in the I'm kind of in there with them. It's kind of BJ. It's kind of hey, I'm kind of in there with you guys. It's kind of cool. It's like it's fun. It's neat. But it's not like I don't want any athlete to be at home like, hey, look, my goal is to get in the Hall of Fame. Okay, because even when you talk to like guys in the NFL Hall of Fame, like I'm in the Hall of Fame, but it's a once a year commitment. You go do your thing, and then unless the UFC wants you to do stuff. Autograph signings, things like that. We're gonna go out there and promote it and do more things. Then it's pretty cool. But none of that stuff happens for me. So it's like it's kind of come on July, and then this year. So go back to the original, your very first question. how's COVID affected you? Well, I can't wear my UFC Hall of Fame jacket this year in July.
Oh,
That has affected me. So yeah.
yeah. Well, it's still a cool accomplishment, right? But
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take anything away, but yeah, it is pretty cool. But then, to be honest, when they put my fight in first, I thought it was the Henderson Shogun fight was going to be the one who's going to go in first.
yeah,
100% thought that was the fight. That fight is going in first, and then going until later. So it was pretty cool to be out, even be in. It's cool to be in it, but then it's pretty cool to be in ahead of that fight. My fight to be ahead of that fight. I'm like, that's pretty righteous because I thought that fight was pretty dope.
yeah, it was. Little segue into pro wrestling. I'm a big pro wrestling fan. How did you enjoy your time in TNA? It was pretty cool couple of moments.
I loved it, actually. I had a great time. I'm still friends with Scott D'Amore. He's my wrestling coach.
Yes.
If you follow Impact Wrestling, Moose, who's now like Mr. Impact, is like the biggest guy on there right now.
Yeah.
I used to train him when I worked for the Atlanta Falcons down in Georgia. And he told me that he goes, when I retire from football, I want to get into pro wrestling. I'm like, okay, whatever, give me a call when you retire. A couple years later, he called me. He's like, hey, I'm retiring out of football. And I want to get into pro wrestling. I'm like, okay, well, here, I'll tell you what, call my buddy Scott. He's a coach. We'll see if there's anything there. And they got together. Now he's freaking Mr. Impact. You know, and I love that. I just did some with them back in October. I went back in and did a thing with them in September, and then October, back with TNA, just one-offs, just, daily rate, whatever kind of thing.
Yeah.
Went there, played the manager, played the heel manager like I usually do. It was cool. It was fun. I had a lot of fun. I would have loved to pursue that. And somebody at Impact was like, you should get back into training and come back in. Ken Shamrock's doing it now and all these other things. I'm like, yeah, man, it's not my focus anymore. My focus now is moved on to stunt work and acting. And when you try to dedicate yourself to pro wrestling, it's a live stunt show. That's really what it is. You're taking the bump, you're taking the ground, you're taking, things get hurt, people get hurt, things happen all the time. You look at even now, The Rock's 48 years old. He walks around like he's 68. He's got a bad back, he's got a bad neck, and that's the real reason why he works out all the time, is to try to keep his body together from all the years of pro wrestling. You take a toll. Your body gets beat up. Those guys, the highest level guys in pro wrestling. Look at Hulk Hogan. He's had two hip replacements.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Andre the Giant. Died young because he had to drink all his pain away. You look at guys like Kurt Angle. He got kicked out of WWE because he was an opioid addict. Then goes into TNA, hides his opiate addiction for a while, and gets kicked out of there. And then has to prove he's clean. Like, takes several years to get clean. He gets clean, goes back to WWE, and they put him in the Hall of Fame. It's but you look at him, you're like, he is messed up. His neck is messed up from wrestling. His back is messed up from pro wrestling. His knees are messed up from both. His ankles are messed up from both. Like, he's a mess. But he's working out all the time, and he's not trying to push up 500 pounds.
No.
He's doing a lot of band workouts, trying to keep his body together, So it's like, these guys in pro wrestling, they get really beat up, and it's just not time. I'm too old now to go back and do it. But I loved the pro wrestling. The verbiage is a little weird backstage, like how they talk to each other. And the belief system, like if you shake a guy's hand firm, like how I was raised to shake a guy's hand. Oh, you're not. You can't be a good wrestler, then, man. You're too hard. You wrestle too hard. I can't work with you. Like, shake your hand hard, but that's really that's the culture.
Wow.
You always have these like limp handshakes because you want to show that, hey, I can sell a handshake, but it's not hard. It's not gonna be hard. So I can sell the punch, but it's not gonna be hard. I can sell the technique, but it's not gonna be hard. I'm like, okay, I get it, but I don't really care about your handshake until in front of the camera. That's not going to hurt me. Like, let's not go nuts. So, but I mean, it's just culturally, they have like word verbiage and stuff. But other than that, it was a lot of fun, man. I got to see some great guys. I got to see Sting, got to see Kevin Nash. I got to see these guys up close and in person. Like these guys are incredible, mammoth, huge mountain of men, and move as agile as a 125 pounder. You're like, this is incredible to watch, man. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah. You actually had a match with AJ Styles, who's even considered the best right now in the WWE. They consider him one of the best performers ever, some people say. How was it working with him?
Absolutely professional. AJ is an absolute professional. Yeah. I screwed up and threw a knee that was supposed to hit him in the chest, and I smacked him in the eye. Oh, it wasn't that hard, but it did black and blue his eye, so I did give him a little bit of damage. He beat the crap over that kendo stick at the end after the groin shot. It was fun though. What a professional! What a way to have your first pro wrestling match on TV is to have with AJ Styles.
Yeah,
Talk me through every technique, every position. We worked on it over and over and over again. And he put me through the ringer and made sure I had it where it didn't matter if something screwed up, I could get right back into it. If I was tired or I got blood dripping into my eyes, it didn't matter. I could still figure my way around. Like, he taught me. He was an amazing professional to work with, and deservedly needs to be one of the best guys right now in WWE, because he is the entire package. He really is the entire package.
Yeah, no, that's nothing else short of what I expected. I mean, everybody praises that guy. So I mean, yeah, for you to have your match against him, I mean, who else gets that, right? Going against the best.
I mean, your first match in, like, first guys that get their first pro wrestling match, like some a small stinky pool hall in Las Vegas, and you're doing it for free just to say you did it, kind of thing. And I was like, man, I got paid a lot of money to go do this. This is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Like, this is my first match. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then last thing about the pro wrestling, you had a thing with Kurt Angle too. How was it working with Kurt?
Oh, Kurt, I've known Kurt for years, man. He was always that guy. And I'm New York, but he's Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
He's 4 years older than me, so he's always that next generation. Wrestling, like most Olympic sports, runs in a 4-year cycle. Also, because college wrestling is a 4-year cycle. Yep. So you're running these 4-year cycles kind of thing. And he was the guy who's ahead of me, so you're trying to catch him all the time. When he was at Clarion, because, in upstate New York, Clarion is one of the spots you think about.
Yeah.
Edinburgh is one of the spots where Josh Koscheck was one of the spots you think about. University of Buffalo is one of the spots you think about. Syracuse, one of the spots you think about. So he's right there in that area. Like, oh yeah, when I go D1 wrestling, these are the spots I'm thinking about. And he was right there in that space. I was like, yeah, man, this is going to be, I'm going to try and catch this guy. So when I had years later, and by the way, we both have hair. We look nothing alike. Like nothing alike at all. But you shave our heads and shave our faces, all of a sudden we look exactly alike. You're like, what the hell happened? Like, how is that even man? So it was cool. It was fun. It was great working with Kurt. We had a lot of commonality. We got a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
His ex-wife Karen and I became friends because of that, and she would also talk me through some stuff that I didn't really understand because she was also doing some wrestling stuff. Yeah. They got divorced, and Karen went on and married Jeff Jarrett. So she's still in the wrestling family. They have kids. They each have remarried and have kids together and have kids separately as well. And so like they have a big mixed family. Like they're always together doing stuff together. It's a big, huge mixed family. So it's pretty cool to see like that amateur wrestling, the pro wrestling is kind of the same mindset in that. Okay. But like if an amateur wrestler guy used to compete with, like Daryl Weber, all of a sudden calls me up and like, hey, I'm in LA. What are you doing? I'm like, oh, hey, we're hanging out tonight. That's what we're doing. I'll figure it out from there, but we're hanging out tonight because we used to compete together. That's just what it is. He's like, it's like stuff like that. Like, Danny Rubenstein, who owns Rube management contract or management company that managed a lot of fighters in the UFC and other places. And Rube went to OU. And so whenever time I see him, we hang out and talk and catch up. And we didn't compete. We're on different teams. I was gone already when he got there, but we talk all the time about it. It's that wrestling family is pretty tight. Working with Kurt, absolutely amazing. He's such a great guy. He's super smart. Guy's demons like everybody else. Everybody's got their demons. Guy's demons, but he's come out on the other side of it and got, found the light.
That's awesome, man. That's really good inside information. I like hearing that. Going into current time, we, like you said, you're acting, stunt, that kind of stuff. One of my favorite appearances of yours, even though it was back in the day, was in the King of Queens.
Yeah.
How fun was that?
It actually is pretty fun. And Mike Socio, who wrote the episode, is still a friend of mine. He does a lot of writing. Like he wrote all the Bad Boys. Yeah. So Bad Boys 1, 2, 3. He wrote all those Bad Boys. He works with Will Smith a lot. He works with Kevin James a lot. Like they'll take a part, he'll do the rewrites, and Mike and I kind of talk a couple times a month about different stuff, and so we're still friends from that episode. But as I walked away, I was kind of mad because I wasn't union at the time, and they didn't give me any lines. If they gave me a line, I would have got my union voucher. So I couldn't get in the union because I didn't have any lines. So then basically I missed a what's it called? Something. Gosh darn it, there's a term for it where you have a part but you have no lines, but it's like you're a glorified extra. You're basically an extra, but you're like a higher level extra because you actually do stuff that people can see, not just walking around. You're doing like me was a choke, and we had that little fight and that little push across. That was because I did that. I was basically a higher than normal paid extra.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Well, that was great, but I really could have used my SAG voucher. I got it later, so it's fine.
Yeah. How was it working with Kevin James? He's like a goofy guy on screen. Is he like that off also?
Oh, so this is the thing you learn about comedians. Eddie Murphy actually used to come up in the summertime. Him and Charlie would come up to Rochester, where I'm from, as fresh air kids. So they come up from New York to come up and hang out with their family during the summertime and go back down to New York City. he's funny all the time.
Yeah,
Both Eddie and Charlie, they're just funny all the time. They're just naturally funny. Kevin is funny all the time, but incredibly athletic. Don't let that little belly, don't let that little fat, like standing backflip, like kick above his head, like can throws a double leg takedown like nobody's business, like can dump it. I don't know so much anymore. It's been a couple of years since we trained together, but man, that he is. That's what surprised me. It was like, oh, you are funny. Like every other comedian, oh, you are funny. And I used to personal train him. I used to train him a little bit, and so I'd be working out with him because of Boss Rutan. Boss Rutan actually got a neck injury. He had to have surgery, and Boss was like, hey, hire Trigg. That's how he said. Once again, Boss pops up. So I was in there training with Kevin a little bit, and man, is he athletic? I was like, I've actually got to work through this private. I was expecting that. I was expecting like, okay, do 2 more. Okay. Yes, great. 1, 2. I'm like, oh my God, like you can hit, you can punch, you can kick. Like, yeah, he's good. Kevin's a lot of fun to work with and super sweet, like a great, amazing human. Just did not like LA. He did not like LA under any circumstance. It didn't matter how big the show was, how big the show wasn't. He just did not like LA. And I think he's in Florida now living full time. But I know he would move back east because he just didn't like it out here. Just didn't like it. And of course all his shows that he tries to write or tries to get into are all based in New York anyway. So
there you go. Yeah.
Or Long Island, what Kevin Can Wait, I think was based in Long Island.
Yeah, no, good stuff, man. Since then you've done all kinds of stuff. You're all kinds of shows, movies, stuff like that. I know you did a thing in Lucifer, one of my favorite shows too. How was that? I wasn't even gonna ask about that, but how was that?
So I'm a fan of the show. So anytime I get a chance to go on there, and then I was following, it was funny because when they film an episode, it's usually 6 to 8 weeks before it actually airs. Yeah. You got to film it, takes 7 to 10 days, and you got to edit it, and you got to get it split in queue and blah, blah, whatever. So I'd already seen the first episode of Cinnamon before I got the phone call. So I'm like, oh, there's just Cinnamon characters in here, whatever, blah, blah. Yep. And they're like, and then I'm on set, and stunt guys, they don't tell you anything. Anything to the end of it. You really have to. What am I doing? Oh, I'm flipping a car. Okay, I guess I'm ramping a car up. All right. So we don't know what's going on. So I get in there. I was like, oh yeah, you're getting killed by Cinnamon. I'm like, oh, Cinnamon's killing me. Oh, this is gonna be. Oh my gosh. So yes, I was a little jumper outfit and put me. And what's funny is that where that scene was shot is inside one of my favorite restaurants called the Smokehouse up in Burbank. I was like, with the Smokehouse all day? Like, oh, this is awesome. Like, this is incredible. So that working on that show is a lot of fun. Lucifer is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it seems that way. Besides that, what's been your favorite acting role or stunt job so far?
Man, that's tough to say because
there's been a lot.
Now I work with a lot of friends, and that's my thing is like I get on Shameless all the time. My favorite acting, I think, was playing the security guard on Shameless. Okay. In season 9, episode 1 and 2. I had a pretty good thing with what's his name? I guess Ian is his name on the show. He played the Joker in Gotham, and he's a red-haired kid on Shameless. Yeah. Amazing. I didn't realize how good an actor he was. Amazingly good actor. And I had a lot of fun working with him and doing scenes with him and the other guys there. We got to hang out with quite a few guys that day. It's probably my favorite acting gig. Stunt, I mean, it's hard to say, man, because I did a fire burn on Hawaii Five-0, a full body fire burn on Hawaii Five-0. They didn't make the final edit. I did a scene falling out of a window at 30 feet on Lethal Weapon. Getting tackled out of a window. That was a lot of fun. Getting up and hanging out, in these weird spots. They're like, oh, is that Egypt? Is that Afghanistan? And I'll send photos later. Like I'll post the photos later when the episode airs. And people are like, were you really in Egypt? Were you really in Afghanistan? I'm like, no, man, that's Blue Cloud Ranch. Santa Clarita. It's up the road. Like it's not. This is all acting. You get this is a show, right? It's not. We're not for real in these places. That was a lot of fun. Getting thrown into a parking meter by LL Cool J, like was like pretty cool. It's the way the fight scene goes and him dumping me in the, knocking me out by hitting me into the parking meter. That was pretty dope. That was pretty cool. And then it's tough to say your favorite because I work with so many great stunt coordinators. Eddie Perez and Mike Massa, Troy Brown, Jeff Cadiente, like these guys, you know, they're you know, Alex Daniels, forgive me guys that listen to this. I'm not forgetting you. It's just like, I don't want to run through all 90 names, but these guys are like friends of mine. We talk to each other all the time. You know, like I was talking to one of the guys today about sailing, because he keeps saying, come down here and go sailing. Like, you don't have a choice anymore. Like not now it's like, you gotta get down here and go sailing. And then he's like, yes. Last night, this morning, he's like, hey, production just called me. I gotta start prepping for the next season. I'm like, of course, now you got to start prepping. That's how it's always worked. But, you know, it's like stuff like that. We always joke around and we hang out. And a lot of guys, you know, we try to meet up once a week for at least a breakfast or a lunch, you know, before COVID. And now we kind of do it on the phone and do it over Zoom and stuff like that. But, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I really like doing, that I'm doing a lot of. There was this one show that I did for Mike Trissler, called Chiefs. It basically was about 3 female chiefs of police in LA, Beverly Hills, and Santa Monica all had female chief of police, and how they had to work together against the Old Boys Network was the premise. And I'm doubling the lead bad guy in this thing, and I have this thing called a pit maneuver. Cop cars do it to cars all the time. They're chasing them. They come down, they hit them on the side, make them spin and stop, right? So there's this pit maneuver we're doing up in Elation Park in LA, and Tom McComas, a really close friend of mine, was a driver. And the whole thing, the whole day is like, you know, see a bitch, pit a bitch. See a bitch, pit a bitch. That's the whole thing, because we were going to have to pit later. So like, see a bitch, pit a bitch. So you have to kind of get in that mentality. He's about to fucking hit me with a car. You know, he's in with a cop car. I'm in his little freaking whatever the hell it is, you know, POS hatchback. And it's like, this thing's going to disintegrate when he touches me. But I was like, we got to trust each other and do this whole drive and kind of get together and do our runs. And that was a lot of fun, getting pit maneuvered in that one. And then, you know, and then drifting around corners and sliding the car around neighborhoods and stuff like that before the scene, and speeding down the freeway, you know, with real cops behind us with their sirens on, the fake cops in front of them for the camera with their sirens on. It was like, I was speeding down the freeway, and this is awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of fun, but it never went anywhere. The pilot got canned, and then it got put in the garbage, and the whole thing got dumped away. And now we got Tommy, which is basically a female chief of police, and it's the same kind of show, but that one's up and running and doing well. It's doing very well from what I can understand. Yeah,
no, awesome, man. That sounds like a bunch of fun for sure. Also, I believe it was 2017 when you started doing you started refereeing, correct?
I started refereeing in 2012.
Oh, 2012. Okay, I'm way off on that one.
13. Well, this is the reason why, because if you don't see a person ref, you assume he's not reffing.
Yeah.
But for them to get into the big show, you have to have been reffing already. You're not going to start reffing, and all of a sudden, you don't start umpiring baseball, and all of a sudden, you're doing the World Series.
Yeah.
It's the best umpire of all the umpires that do the World Series, right? Yeah. Same thing with refereeing. In any position, any sport, you don't just stand up and start, and all of a sudden you're in the big leagues.
Yeah.
I did a year in the amateur only. I did 2 full years of amateur only. But after a year, I applied for my pro license, got it in California, didn't get one pro assignment for a year.
Okay.
My first pro assignment came after my license expired. So I had to renew my license to get my next one. So it was like, I was doing amateur that whole time. So I have probably, maybe 2,000 amateur bouts. Ref.
Oh, wow.
And then probably 200 or 300 before my first pro card. Oh my
goodness, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You have to have 100 before you can even apply.
Jeez.
So you have to have 100 amateur before you can apply for your pro license. And it's not saying they're going to accept you. You can have 100 done, and like, you're not good enough. We're not going to take you.
Wow.
They said they accept my application, so I sent it in, and I got it. I'm like, okay, now I'm in. All right, this is cool. Now what do I do? And I sat, and I sat, and I sat, and I kept doing amateur. So it's like, it's a long time getting up there. So I think 17 was when I did the
UFC fight, the fight night.
Yeah,
right?
in Fresno, and that was Ortega and Cub Swanson. That was Brian Ortega, Cub Swanson.
Yeah,
that was the first time I was in the big show, but I'd already done a Bellator before that. So I'd already done a Bellator before that. I done UFC. So this is how it works. You're at the very bottom when you start. When you retire, you're at the very top, in theory. Okay? Yeah. In the middle there, you're growing yourself up, right? So whatever you get into, there's still a hierarchy. There's 3 title fights coming to California. Whatever, July 18th. It's a UFC card. This is fictitious, by the way. This is not happening. I'm just saying there's 3 title fights coming in. in California, you have Herb Dean, Mike Beltran, Jason Herzog, Josh Rosenthal, Frank Trigg. I'm forgetting somebody. James Beers. I'm sorry, there's somebody else too. And forgive me, I'm gonna forget somebody's name. But of those 6 people I've just mentioned, you have 3 title fights. Who's getting the title fights? Dean,
yeah,
Beltran,
yep.
Herzog. That's who's getting it. That's who's getting them.
Mhm.
Those guys are proven. Do you want a guy to deliver your baby that you think can deliver your baby, or do you want the guy that's delivered 800 babies? Probably that. I want the guy that's had 800 babies. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So do you want the guy in Trigg that you think can do the main event, or do you want the guy in Herzog that you know can do the main event? Right? Herzog, Beltran, Dean, Goddard. These are the guys that everyone knows. You know, Murgliata, Leon Roberts. These are the guys these people know because they see him all the time. So all of a sudden when you come, oh, Trigg just started reffing in 2017. No, fool. I've been doing it way before that. You don't just show up and get to the UFC. It's not how it works. You know, it's a long process, and it's a broke process. So amateur, you show up sometimes at 4 o'clock, usually 5 o'clock. First fight gets off at 7. You don't get out of there at midnight. No matter how many matches and when you're at the amateur level, you ref and judge. Doesn't matter how many matches, how many fights you ref and or judge. $100.
Oh my gosh.
That's what you get. $100. It's amateur.
Oh my gosh.
That's what you get.
Yeah.
So when you have like a Beltran or when McCarthy was still refereeing, or McCarthy at your amateur event as your referee, understand he's doing it for the love of the game.
Yeah.
These guys are losing money by coming. You know, it's like, dude, like I can't. You know, it's like they're, you know, it's a little crazy.
Wow.
That's less, you know. Oh yeah, but you know, it's like $10 an hour. Like, it's a great pay rate. It's great pay rate. No, it's not, fool. Because if I screw up, if I mess up and ruin this guy's career, you know, I did it for $100. Like that doesn't, this doesn't make any sense, you know. And then when you get into the pros, you're not doing a title fight on pay-per-view, you know, as one of your first fights. You're not making $2,000. You're making $250, $350, $450 for a night. No matter how many, not per fight, entire fight. So it's like when you start, you're starting. You really got to love this game. Like the referees, like this is one of the reasons now that I'm a ref, and I'm kind of like, you got to stop yelling at refs. You got to stop picking on refs. You got to shut up, because one, and this is unfortunate for all your fans, and I apologize because they come up really crass, really wrong. Yeah. But they don't know what they're looking at. They have no idea. They're fight fans. They love fight fans. They love what's going on. They have no idea what they're looking at. Yeah. They have no clue. Okay. So you have these fight fans that look at it like, no, the ref should stop this sooner. You should stop. So I had a fight that I was late. I was absolutely late in the stoppage. My fault. No way around it. My fault. I was late. That's how it works. Okay. The next day on Instagram, I was getting yelled at by everybody, rightfully so. So I'm like, let's take my lickings. I'm an adult. Yeah. I got thick skin. Let me see what these people are saying. Now, their opinions ultimately don't count because they're not officials. Yeah. The McCarthys, the Beltrans, the Herzogs, they've already all talked to me about the situation. So I know where the situation is. And they disagree on certain things too. But I know exactly where I messed up. I know exactly the spot I messed up. I know what messed up. Right guy still won. No one's career was ruined. Nobody had long-term injury, but I was there 2 or 3 seconds too late. That's just how it is, right? On Instagram, in my DMs, 100% of the people yelling at me for the wrong spot. Oh my God. 100% of the people didn't know what they were looking at. Yeah. Wrong spot completely. Like, you should stop. This is where you were wrong, blah, blah. I'm like, you guys actually have no idea. And I don't respond to anybody because it doesn't. Then you get into this. There's no now point. I have to educate 100 people in a row. Yeah. Exactly. You have to cut and paste because it's the same conversation. Yeah. I just don't get into it. You know, you want to start yelling at somebody who's going to respond. Jason Herzog will respond. Mark Goddard will respond. Okay. They will respond to you all day long. They'll get battles with you all day long. They'll get back and they'll try to educate you all day long. You want to have a conversation with a referee, go to those guys. I don't care to enough. I don't have the time. Yeah. You know, I'm very appreciative of everybody that responds, either negative or positive. It doesn't matter. But I'm not going to get in a debate about what's right and what's wrong because I went to school for this. Like I went to John McCarthy's school for this. I went to Herb Dean's school for this. Like I learned to do this. I'm not just watching on TV and having an opinion. These are facts. Like I know these are facts. So I don't want to get in an argument with somebody that is probably a really nice guy, then I'm gonna have to reach to the keyboard and bash them in the face because they're just being stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down that hole. Sometimes I just stay away from it.
Yeah.
So, but I do try to respond to as many people as possible. And when you get a group like that, but like what I'm saying is that they were yelling at me for the wrong part of the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you guys don't even know what you're looking at. This is a problem. And this is the issue with the judges know what he's talking about. The ref doesn't know what he's talking about. I was like, well, no, the ref and judge do know what they're talking about. You don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about. But back to commentators. Commentators say something that's incorrect. That now becomes facts. It becomes fact. It becomes
Yeah.
law. You're like, well, no, but Bubba said. I hate to tell you, Bubba doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? He's on TV. I see him every Saturday night. I see him every Friday night. They exactly know. No, sorry. They don't know what they're talking about. They don't know.
Yeah.
They don't know. I'm sorry about that. They just don't know.
No, and that goes back to your point about Felder and even DC. I mean, I like Rogan, all the other guys too, but when the fighters started commentating and stuff like that, I thoroughly did enjoy it more. And it's just, they've been in the fight game. They talk about, they dissect. Oh, he's gonna do this now. Oh my God, now he needs to do this. Like you get a way different perspective when you see a fighter. Even like if you're a football fan, Tony Romo started doing the football games, right? And
wow.
He destroyed it. I think he destroyed commentating.
How good is Romo?
Oh my gosh,
dude! Yeah. He came out of the box. I was watching something. I wasn't paying attention to the commentators. I was watching one of his first after he retired, his first game out. And forgive me for not knowing the game. Mm-hmm. I was casually watching, and someone was like, I had the sound down a little bit low.
Yeah,
I had to turn the sound. I'm like, wow, who is this commentator? He's really knowledgeable. Like I'm learning stuff.
Yeah.
And I make no bones about it. Like I don't know all the ins and outs of football. I enjoy the game. Somebody starts banging me. Like, that was holding. I don't know what holding is. I don't know what it is. That was clipping. I don't know what clipping is. Don't know what it is. Face mask. Okay, I know what face mask is. He grabbed his face mask. But is that really a face mask? His hand slid down. Is that really a face mask? Oh, you see his head move. You see it move. Okay, I don't know the rules. I don't know. You can argue with me all you want because I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm totally okay with it. I'm fine. When Romo was talking, I learned so much from him. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I was like, man, is he good? I mean, and I thought Troy Aikman was good. I thought Troy was good until Tony came across. I was like, okay, my whole game has changed now. Like Tony is an amazing commentator right out of the box and super knowledgeable. You ask Tom Brady what the line judge is looking for. You ask Tom Brady what the backfield judge is looking for. Mm-hmm. He has no idea. He has no clue. He has no clue. But you ask anybody in any position about another position that's not their position, they're kind of going to be like, I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what that guy's. I don't know what they're doing. I'm specialized over here. They're specialized over there. Like I don't know what's going on. So it's the same in every sport.
No, for sure, man, for sure. I thank you for giving me all this time. I was trying to make it short. I really do appreciate you giving me this time, man.
Nothing is ever short when I'm talking. It's never short.
Yeah. I really do appreciate it. Right now, I want to give you a little bit of time. Do you want to plug anything coming up, sponsors, whatever?
Okay, so the biggest things I'm doing right now is Men's Health. I talked about Universal Men's Clinic earlier. Now I'm with Frontline Alternative, which is a company out of Texas. They're doing a lot of hormone replacement. It's TRT, ED, erectile dysfunction drugs, like all these things for men. They do help out women as well. If you just go to franktrigg.com, scroll down to the bottom of the front page, there'll be 2 banners there. One of them will be Frontline Alternative Medicine. Go hit them. Go talk to them. Like even if you don't have any problems, I don't care what your age is. If you are 26 years old, male or female, you should know your hormone levels. There might not be anything wrong. This might be assumption there's nothing wrong, but you have a baseline. Yeah. Now you know every year when you get your physical, hey, these things have changed. These things are different. Like what's the problem? Go check these guys out. Tell them Frank Trigg sent you. They'll give you, excuse me, sorry, hay fever season. I left my window open. I got a wind blowing in. COVID. So now he does a lot of help for vets. His whole reason for starting it was to help out veterans.
Okay.
With PTSD, they're from Texas. They do everything online, so you don't have to go to the store, go to the office or anything. You do have to go get your blood drawn, so you can get the test results. But other than that, everything else is online and mailed to your doorstep. Okay, so you can do a video conference just like this, just like we're doing right now.
Yep.
That's how you talk to the doc. Okay, and it's super convenient, super easy, super private. No waiting in a waiting room. Nobody else looking in there wondering what you're doing there the whole bit. And you can have open male. Let's talk about older gentlemen that have erectile dysfunction. You can have an open conversation that's not embarrassing with somebody over a computer. So you're in your own home, in your own office, feeling comfortable, not talking about, hey, look, I'm having a hard time and with these certain things, like trying to get over these things. And it might not be erectile dysfunction. It might be stress. It might be something else entirely. So like, you don't know that. So you get to test, get talking to them, and all of a sudden like, oh yeah, here, it's this other thing. Fix this other thing, and that thing will work better. And they call back like a week later, like, this other thing was the problem. I got to go. The wife's home. It's like stuff like that. So, and then the other one is ground-based nutrition. I've been looking for a long time. I eat a lot of meat. I just do. Fish and pork and beef, and I don't turn down any meat for the most part. I'm not eating insects. Don't like tarantulas. Don't like scorpions. But for the majority of stuff, I do a lot of organic. We do a lot of organic, high level, sustainable meats and fishes. And then when I can go catch, I go out and catch my own fish. I do a lot of deep water. I have like 100 pounds of tuna in my freezer right now that I went and caught a couple weeks ago. And that's just what I like to do. But my supplement companies are vegan or vegetarian.
Oh,
they got enough meat. Otherwise, I don't need more meat in my protein. So I go with a vegetarian. So I found this company out of San Diego, Ground-Based Nutrition. There's a banner on my website, franktrigg.com. Scroll on the bottom, you see the banner. Click on the banner. Use Trigg20 TRIGG20 at checkout. Get you 20% off.
Awesome.
And it's 20% off the retail price, and you can pass it to anybody you want to. It's not one-time usage. You get to use it forever as long as it's up there. It's ready to go. You can pass it to your friends, your mom, your sister. My wife is a person that needs more protein but does not like to eat meat. She's a vegetarian when we first met. She's a vegetarian for 6 years. Only had eggs, only had cheese as her non ground-based protein source. I got her onto these. She likes the chocolate shake. She has a chocolate shake. The chocolate protein tastes like a chocolate shake. Right. But also depends on the water. If you give it too much water, it kind of dilutes it. So you have to make it a little bit of water, a little more, it's got to play that game, but it tastes like chocolate. And so she has it. And sometimes she's like, I got to get it down. I'm having a hard time with it. She heats it up in the microwave or uses hot water. And then all of a sudden it becomes hot chocolate. And so it's like, that's for her, that's the easiest way. But they have some great products in there. Fermented beets, which help with your red blood cell count, which helps with your cardiovascular system and also helps with your heart attack and blood pressure. They have electrolytes. They've got protein, vanilla chocolate. They've got vitamin C. They've got all sorts of stuff. Just go check it out. Yeah, it's
awesome.
They're really good, and
they're
great. They're great to talk to. They ship directly, and they ship anywhere in the world. So if you're listening to this and you're anywhere in the world, they can ship to you. 100% they can get it to you, and they've been really good to me, especially because I'm super high maintenance. I call them like, hey, look, I got to tell my friend. I got to tell my friend about this. I don't understand what this is doing to my system. Like, these are things that's happening, but I don't understand why. Oh, it's because this thing and this chemical reaction and blah, 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 and this other thing. I'm like, okay, now why does this thing taste this way? Oh, we don't have any sugar. We don't add any sugar to it. Like, so that's why it has that little taste in it, because there's no sugar in it. Yeah. It's all the fructose that's allowed, like that comes from the fruits or the vegetables that we're using. That's the only sugar we get. We don't have any other incest. Like, oh, okay. And they're pre-workout, no caffeine. Like, how come you have no caffeine? Because if you put caffeine in pre-workout, then you have to put in not arginine.
Yeah, for sure.
And arginine, and that long-term usage, people have to come off it. Like, people don't understand that most pre-workouts, those are used for a certain period of time. You have to come off. You're like, no, put more. I need more. I want to get more. I want to get more, Jack, more. You're like, well, that's the problem, is that now you go get your blood level done. You're like, oh, your body's jacked up. What's wrong about it? Well, because you've been eating 200 milligrams of caffeine in your pre-workout twice a day, plus your 4 cups of coffee, plus you have an overload of arginine, plus you have an overload of zinc. Now you're on toxic levels. So what are you going to? So they took all that out, made it simple, made it complete. So you can take the pre-workout all the time. So it's been really cool. They have some really good stuff. The guys are really cool. Charles is a lifesaver for me. I've had to talk to him about different things when I travel. Because powders are hard to take on planes. They're always checking. They're always checking. And then you got to take the canister. The canister too much freaking space. And so he's like, look, what you do is you pack this other little clear like backpack. Like the little girls' clear backpacks you take into stadiums, because that's where your supplement goes. That goes in your bag. When you show up to go, because all my stuff is carry on. I never check a bag. I always do carry on. When you show up, you pull that out, drop that whole thing in, and then run it through. And they're like, oh yeah, this is all protein. We can see it. We can see this protein. We can see it's all powder. No problem. Boom, boom. There you go. You're good. I'm like, all right, thanks. I'm like, you're a lifesaver. Thank you. Because there's always that. went through, what is this? We have to rerun this. And it's like me taking 18 things out of my bag and putting a separate bin and doing that whole game. It's
Yeah,
like,
that can get
no,
annoying.
just pack another bag within the bag. Like, I'm
Yeah.
like, you're a genius. You know, it's pretty smart. So it's like, you know, it's pretty cool. They've been great to me, great company, great flavors. No stomach upset when I first, you know, when you change supplements, you change supplement companies, obviously you get that stomach upset.
Always.
You know, if you guys go to and get the protein gut, everyone goes to Fit Expos. You go to Fit Expos, and you go to the bathroom. You're like, what is going on here? Because everybody's drinking the protein shakes in every booth. You're like, dude, like, stop it, stop doing this. You guys are gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
None of that. Have no stomach distress. Have no
awesome
no problems. Super easy. Pharmaceutical grade grinding. So it mixes. So it's like a super fine powder. It's like little discouraging sometimes. You open it up the bag, you're like, and there's like powder coming out. Like, what the heck? Is like, you know, it's because it's all pharmaceutical grade. When it goes into your water, it mixes up super clean. So
yeah,
that's it.
That sounds awesome, man. I'm gonna look into that stuff for sure. You sold me. You
good,
sold me
good.
100%. Yeah, well, I'm gonna check it out for sure. Mr. Frank Trigg, very deeply appreciate you. You know, doing this for us. We're a very tiny podcast. You gave us way more time.
You're huge. You're a huge podcast. You're tiny.
Yeah,
you're fucking huge.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks, Mr. Trigg.
Look at the size of your arms. They're huge.
Oh, come on. Yeah, we appreciate you, man. We hope you have a great day. Hope you know the best. Want to see you in more shows, more refereeing, hopefully, right?
I think Bellator is coming back in July in California, and I believe that I'll be on the first 3 or 4 cards that are going to happen here. So I'm hoping we'll be back to work here pretty soon.
Looking forward to it. Mr. Frank Trigg, have a great day, man. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Yeah, have a good one.